blanket here for you. You can stay exactly right where you are. You don't have to move. I've got a blanket ready and waiting for you. So now it's late now. So we're just gonna tuck you in exactly where you are. Get you nice and warm. Alrighty. I've got myself a little blanket as well, as it is fairly cold tonight, and I don't want to get cold either. So, if you're not ready for some sleep yet, how about I just chat to you for a little while? I used to do this thing as a kid. We used to have tickles, is what we called it. It sounds a little strange, but we used to get like a feather from a bird or something. We had a pet bird that would sometimes shed a feather, and so we would take that and sort of gently tickle. Just sort of gently tickle the back and like arms of like my siblings is what something we would do. So I thought, no, seeing as we're getting ready to go to sleep now, it might be an interesting thing to tuck you in. I'll chat to you for a little while and give you some tickles. So, just relax. Hopefully, you're getting ready to go to sleep now. And I'm just going to use the fluffy end of this to just tickle you a bit. Okay. Just a little bit whilst I talk you to sleep. Does that sound good? Alrighty then. I guess I could start by telling you how my day went. So, I guess today was a little bit of a blunder by me. I don't live very far. From a shopping centre. So I thought I would just go down for a bit of a walk, get a bit of exercise and walk down to the shopping centre. However, the thing that I wanted to get when I was down there were some weights for my home sort of workout. And so I had before like a set of adjustable weights, but they were quite large for the weight that they were. So it was getting sort of uncomfortable to use, as I kept having to use larger and larger weights when I was increasing the weight that I was lifting. So I went down to go and get myself a set of dumbbells that were smaller but weighed more. And stupidly, I decided to walk down to the shopping centre to get them. and walked about a kilometre with 20 kilos strapped to my back. So that was very dumb of me. I won't be making that mistake again. I'll make sure I use a car next time to transport heavy weights and not damage my back. Thankfully, I think I've gotten pretty strong lately. So walking that distance with that weight strapped to me wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that difficult. I was able to do it. But yeah, just something stupid. I bought them. I was walking out of the shopping centre. I was just like, oh no, what have I done? I realised after I bought them, I walked out and then put it in my backpack that I brought and just went, oh, I am very stupid. So that was something I did today. So I just sort of wanted to relax now after doing something foolish like that. I've gotten really into the soundtrack for Kimi no Na wa, or Your Name, if you will. I guess to tell you a little bit about me, if you didn't realize by now, I am very much a very big fan of Kimi no Na wa. I attribute that film as half of my sort of, what's a good word? Half my, not obsession, that's not the right word. Half of the reason is probably a better way. Half of the reason I watch quite a bit of anime. Your Name is the film that I watched back in 2016. Would have been the end of 16, maybe the beginning of 17, when I saw it for the first time. It would have been sort of about that time that I saw that film. And just absolutely fell in love with the animation style, the score, the sort of everything, the genre. It made me realize sort of what I wanted to see because up to that point, I sort of only really watched mainstream-ish shonen-y sort of shows. I didn't really dive all that deep outside of my comfort zone. But watching your name for the first time really showed me what it was that I liked about anime. Sort of the slice of life with a touch of fantasy thrown in. And that film sort of hit me in a special time in my life as well. I had finished going to TAFE, which is like, if you don't know, TAFE is like after high school, but it's not university. It's sort of like Australian college, I guess. It's capital T, capital A, capital F, capital E. It stands for something, but I don't remember. I can't remember what it stands for. But I was finishing up my first year there. I did a Cert 4 in programming and a diploma of software development. If you asked me how to code now, I could not tell you. I have not coded anything in years. It has been years since I've written code in any language. I technically learned C# and Java, as well as SQL and HTML5. I learned those 4 languages, but if I was to open up some programming software to start typing code, I would most definitely have no idea where to start. It's all gone from my brain. So, yeah, what a waste of a year, really. But yeah, it was the end of my first year of that, and I had to go back and finish up one. I had to finish up one lesson at the beginning of 2017 because I didn't submit like the final exam for it. I missed the deadline, so I had to retake that specific course and attend next year to get my diploma of software development is what it was. And it was while I was sort of in that state of, I didn't know if I had to go back or if like I just failed everything, and I was the end of the year. I was sort of in that state. I was sort of in that state of mind when I saw your name. I remember it as well. We didn't actually have home internet where I was at that time, and so what I was doing was I was going to a mate's house and using their internet to sort of download TV shows and movies and like YouTube videos. I hope you don't mind if I just sort of play around in front of your face while I talk now. But yeah, I was watching sort of downloading sort of TV shows and movies and YouTube videos to my laptop while I was looking at sort of some recent anime that had come out, and I was trying to work out something I could download so I could watch that week, when I came across the trailer for Kimi no Nawa. And just watching that trailer and seeing the art style, I think I sort of immediately recognized that this would be something that I would forever love. And I was like scourging, I don't know the word, I can't remember. I was sort of looking all over the internet to see if I could find a copy of it online anywhere that I could then view, because it hadn't actually aired in Australia yet when I found it. I believe there were some test screenings in America. That had happened, but other than that, it hadn't actually been released to the Western audience yet. It was only released in Japan. But the internet being the internet, I found on a dodgy website a rip of the test screening version that I think had come out, but the quality was so poor. It was either like 360 or like 480p. There were watermarks on it because obviously it was a test screening video. And what I did was I had a little, it was like a Nokia, what was it? It was a Nokia Lumia 650, a Microsoft Windows 10 phone is what I had at the time. It was the first sort of touch phone that I had. I would not recommend anyone use this phone. It was terrible. It had no apps on it. It did barely anything. It was like slightly better than the Nokia E63, which was the phone I used my entire high school life. Little sort of QWERTY keyboard phone. It's probably around here somewhere. Actually, I could probably find it if I wanted. But yeah, so I downloaded it and put it on that and watched on this tiny little screen. The screen probably about like yay big. That's what I watched Your Name on for the first time, because it was the only thing I could think of to make it look sort of decent. I remember laying on my couch after getting back from his place and watching that whole movie and just falling completely in love with it. I wanted to know everything that the director had made before. I immediately became obsessed with anything that he made afterwards as well. Every time one of his new films came out, I was there immediately wanting to see it. And it sort of defined the genre and style of anime that I like, which was the slice of life genre. I had never at that point really watched anything that was like slice of life. Nothing that was sort of grounded in reality, I guess. Everything was either fantasy or like a isekai or something like that. It was never like real life situations. But at the same time, when there's those real life situations, they need to be have some sort of element of fantasy going on. So for example, in Your Name, if you somehow haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the film, go and watch it. It would make way more sense me talking about it if you had seen it. But yeah, that's the sort of thing. It's the sort of thing that I realised that I liked. And so recently, I've been listening to the whole soundtrack. The whole soundtrack again. And I will probably tomorrow watch the film itself, as it's getting to the point where I really, really want to do that. But that's what I was listening to. I was walking home from the shopping centre today with 20 kilos of weights in my backpack, on my back, listening to, I believe it's called Nandemone Dari. Is that the right song? I need to, I'm gonna have to Google this. Give me like 30 seconds. It is Nandemone. Nope, that's not it. That's a Kanaboon song. That's a Kanaboon song. That's what that was. Nandemonaya. That's the song. Nandemonaya. So that, and I think Katawara Toke is another song. Very, very beautiful OST. Katawara Toki. But those are some of the songs I was listening to whilst struggling to carry this heavy backpack. So if you listen to those songs, it's very, I don't know if it's fitting, but it's interesting to say the least. But that's where I'm at. That's what I want to listen to. That's where I want to what I want to watch. And honestly, Makoto Shinkai's films are just something special every time they come out. I have, you can't really see it, it's just off screen. It's just off here. It's just off to the side here. We'll grab it there. This sits in the background of my videos most of the time. Suzume no Dojimari. I believe it just says Suzume underneath, which is the English title of the film. This is Makoto Shinkai's most recent film, and this is the special edition. Still in its plastic. I have opened this. But that sits back here, next to my books. And I have, on the shelf over there, I have Hina and Hodaka from Weathering With You or Tenki no Ko. I have some figures of them sitting next to the Blu-ray. Actually, a fun thing about Weathering With You, I saw that film 4 times in theatres. So you can probably tell that I do in fact like Makoto Shinkai's films. And I also saw Suzume in theatres. I saw that actually on my birthday. It came out in Australia. The release date just sitting at home and reading books. And then about 6 o'clock, I headed down to the movie theatre by myself. For two reasons. One, none of my mates sort of would want to watch that film. None of them are as much of fans of anime as I am. But two, I like watching films by myself. I very much enjoy. I very much enjoy the theatre experience. Just being there by yourself. Quite honestly, I would go and see more movies if I could just go to a theatre and be the only person in the room there. That's my ideal cinema viewing experience. But I went on my birthday to go see Suzume in theatres and had an absolutely fantastic time. That film as well is got some fantastic music to it. The main theme itself is always stuck in my head. I will often find myself just walking around humming the that main theme of that movie is constantly in my head. And now that I've done that, it's going to be in my head for a while longer. Maybe I'll do a marathon or something tomorrow of the 3 main films. I'll watch Kimi no Na wa Tenki no Ko and Suzume no Tojimari. I think that's what I'll do. Have a nice restful day. Nice restful day. Restful day tomorrow. And watch 3 of my favorite anime films. I never feel like I get up to enough between each time that I come and talk to you. I feel like there's never a lot of things that I do sort of in real life. I don't know where I put it. I was going to tickle you again with the fluff. Here it is. It was in my lap. Yeah, I feel like I never get up to enough in between the times that I come and talk to you. interesting things and report back to you about them. I'm just gonna stretch my leg out. If you don't mind. I feel like I want to be doing more so I can talk to you about more interesting things than just sort of the things I've been watching and the games I've been playing. But I don't have the time. I work a full-time job, if you didn't know. And then on weekends I try and come up with ideas for this little YouTube thing that I've got going. And then I try to cram in some time with my mates to hang out, either play video games or maybe go and get some dinner or something. Just some quality time with my friends. But I never feel like I do anything interesting enough that warrants a discussion about. That's why the interesting things to me are the video games and the books and the shows and the manga and all that stuff that I've been reading, watching, playing, and engaging with. That sort of stuff is always sort of more interesting to me to hear about than like the mundane. Oh, I went and bought some weights, or I went to the city and there was some guy yelling for no reason. That stuff is sort of boring, not interesting to listen about. At least that's what I think. And I'd much rather spend 30 minutes just quietly chatting to you about my opinion of Your Name and anime and what makes me like that. And I suppose, I hope you don't mind. You're trying to sleep and you probably just want me to distract you for a little while. So it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, as long as I'm talking to you quietly and calmly. Quietly and calmly about something I'm passionate about or interested in. Same sort of deal, I guess. I've been playing a lot of this game lately called Backpack Battles. Backpack Battles. Backpack Battles. Backpack Battles. I'll admit to something a little I spent like 3 hours watching all of the content she had made while playing back-to-back battles. And this person is Sarah's Fauna. So you can look that up to see why that would be embarrassing for me. But I'll leave it at that. I discovered this game. I discovered the game through her. And the game is super addicting. If you like storage, like if you love like organizing stuff and like optimization and things like that in video games, this game is like right up your alley. You pick between 4 hero types, and then you are presented with a store where you can buy items to pack into your backpack. And it's sort of about how to effectively store items so that way their effects trigger other items. It's about maintaining space within this backpack to then fight other people with your sort of setup that you've made, with your skills and the items that you've bought. But the game is super addicting. I've played a couple hours of it now. I'm probably about 5 to 10 hours deep. It's got quite a bit of replayability, and they keep updating the game with more items and bug fixes and stuff like that. So I've sort of become addicted to playing that. It's very fun. It's also rather relaxing as well. I found it's rather relaxing. To the point, I don't know if I will. No promises. But I've been thinking about maybe streaming some gameplay of it. It was an idea I had when playing. I thought it might be a fun idea to do sort of maybe once in a while a comfy, cozy stream where I quietly play a cozy game. So something like Power Wash Simulator or Backpack Battlers, or maybe Animal Crossing or something along those lines. Maybe even something I said a while ago. I'd love to play Super Mario Galaxy with you guys. I think that would be pretty cool. But I'd have to look into streaming, how that all works. Because I don't think the internet here would be able to handle. I don't think it'd be able to handle me streaming. It barely functions as it is. It's not great. The internet that we have here in Australia in general, but it's even worse here in WA. It's really bad. Really slow. I have a mate who lives in Queensland, which is the other side of the country to me. And it's always funny to me when he starts complaining when we're playing a game and his internet drops, his speeds drop, and he's like, oh man, my speeds have dropped again. And usually me and my other mate that would be playing with him, who's also from WA, will go, oh yeah, what do they drop to? And he'll tell us the number, and he's like, oh, it's like whatever, like megabytes per second. And we'd be like, oh, yeah, cool, that's better than what we have when we have good internet. And even then, what he's saying, compared to like the US, you guys have like god tier internet speeds compared to what we get over here. So I don't feel like streaming. Maybe an option for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll do an old school let's play, but do a quiet let's play and just upload that. I don't know, maybe on like a different channel or something, so it's not on a different channel, so it's not so jarringly different content all of a sudden. Alright. I kind of want to keep talking. It's been a bit now. Maybe I did my job properly. Let's hope I did my job properly and you're asleep. Let's hope that you're asleep right now. That you're ready. Or not ready, what am I saying? That you're already asleep. And if you're not and you are still listening to me, what are you doing? I thought we were going to bed. That's why I stopped playing games at the start. I can't play games all night. It's time to sleep. So if you haven't done that yet, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. I want you to make sure your eyes are closed now. Just close them. And relax. Sink in. Sink in. And get ready for some long and restful sleep. I'll leave you alone now. I'll leave you alone. I'll let you get some rest. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings if you're still here with me. I would hope so. It would seem weird if you stuck around this long and didn't enjoy me talking about whatever it was I was talking about. I've kind of forgotten. It's hard to remember when you just sort of blur from the brain and let out random thoughts that you're having. Alright. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.